Macaroni and cheese, plant-based. All right, I wrote up a recipe. Derica's got it. All this stuff goes into it.
We're gonna start off with half a cup of cashews.
Actually, before you even do that, get a pot of water boiling and cook up 200 grams of your favorite pasta. We happen to be using Rotini today. And then what was that?
Half a cup of cashews.
Okay. Into your blender, use half a cup of cashews. Now, if you're not using a high-speed blender, you're gonna wanna soak these overnight or boil them for 10 minutes. You can anyway, even if you want to. I generally don't, and it works out just fine. Half cup. I'm eyeballing things today. Playing it a little fast and loose with the ingredients today. That's half cup. Next.
1/4 teaspoon lactic acid.
Okay, lactic acid adds the cheesy factor to vegan cheeses and things like that. If you do not have it or you cannot find it, I'd say a teaspoon of lemon juice or apple cider vinegar will do a similar. It won't be exactly the same, but it'll be close.
Some of you may be confused because you probably really haven't thought about cheese very much in depth, but when you're trying to replicate cheese by not making cheese, you realize that cheese is actually kind of sour. If you think about it, it's spoiled milk.
And this is a vegan lactic acid. This is not, I think it's made from beets, as a matter of fact. Next.
Half teaspoon of salt.
Or salt to taste. I'm using kosher salt, so half teaspoon.
We try to
cheese
limit...
is a little salty.
Yeah, we try to limit our salt, but it really doesn't taste like cheese without it.
Next.
1/4 cup of nutritional yeast.
I mean, you know, it has a little bit of a cheesy flavor. It does add a little bit of a yellow color, and it adds some umami to this dish, so it really makes it taste like mac and cheese.
1.5 cups to 2 cups of your dairy-free milk of choice. Today we're using
soy. This is basically, the ingredients are organic soy milk. That's it, okay? It's just soybeans, nothing else added. So, 1 to 1.5 cups? Or does it say 1.5 cups?
to 2.
1.5 to 2? I actually put that there?
1.5 to 2 cups.
Oh, okay. All right, well, we're gonna eyeball this.
And yes, does cooking with Brian drive me crazy? A little bit.
Why?
We worked really hard to perfect this recipe, and he's like, you're just gonna throw stuff in the blender.
Point is, cooking is not an exact science, and I try to prove that to people all the time. Anyway, next.
Cooking is not baking, however, is.
This is not baking. Well, we are gonna bake it.
We're
it's
also
not actually baking.
going to add a teaspoon each of garlic powder and onion powder.
Shocker that there's garlic and onion powder in this recipe, right? Tablespoon?
Teaspoon, you said.
That's why I'm asking. I'm just checking the amounts.
3 tablespoons tapioca starch.
Now, tapioca starch or tapioca flour, however you know it by, adds like the stretchiness value to it. It gives it a little body and texture. So 3 tablespoons?
Yep. Now, I will have all these ingredients listed in the description below, along with links to some of the ones that may be more difficult for you to find.
And now, we blend. Blend this until it's just silky smooth. Be back in a minute. Okay, I blended this for about 1 minute. And we're just gonna set that to the side for a moment because now it's time to talk about toppings, okay? And when most people think of toppings for mac and cheese, because this is a baked mac and cheese, did I mention it? They think of like a breadcrumb topping, right? So we have some panko, which happens to be accidentally vegan, and I have about maybe a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half of vegan butter. Now you could just use oil if you want to. Butter adds a nice extra flavor. And I'm gonna do like, I don't know, maybe a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of the panko in there. Just enough to kind of soak up some of the butter. You don't want too much, you know. And then I'm just literally gonna mix that up. I think I need more panko. I have too much butter. See why cooking with me is so much fun? You get to do everything twice. So let's make that like 3 tablespoons of panko. 2 to 3, it's okay. Set that off to the side to soak up. Now, grab a container. At this point, you have a decision to make. Do you put in your finished pasta first, or do you put in the sauce first? Guess what? I'm gonna go with the pasta. It was cooked a little while ago, so it's sticking together just a little bit. I can get it in there. I can do it.
Turn Alternatively, you could have a larger bowl to mix the pasta and sauce together and then put it into your baking dish.
Where's the fun in that? I like to use as few dishes as possible because I'm not the one that washes them. If I was the one that washed them, I'd probably use even less. Then you take your sauce and dump it over. Now, it's going to seem like you have way too much sauce.
But check out that sauce.
Oh, yeah. Okay, it's going to seem like you have way too much. Trust me, you don't. The first time I made this, I used what looked like just the right amount. Well, as it bakes and soaks up, it was gone. There was like no sauce. So the flavor was great, but there just wasn't enough sauce. So I increased the amount of sauce to go with it, and it's gonna look like it's just floating in a puddle of sauce until you cook it. Again, I really hate getting everything out of these. It's good, it's good. And then you wanna mix this up because you don't want any dry pasta without sauce on it. Just get it all, you know, thoroughly mixed. It's gonna look way too loose, and that's the idea. It should, because remember, this isn't really cheese, you know, it's really pasta, it's really macaroni. So it's half right. It smells like macaroni and cheese already.
I am very hungry. My stomach just growled.
I heard it. I wonder if the microphones picked that up.
I hope not.
All right, so we got our nice and liquidous mac and cheese there. And then I'm just gonna spoon some of this on top. Just little blobs here and there. Nothing too fancy. By the way, your oven should be preheated to 350 degrees. Celsius will be right here. Yeah, that was Fahrenheit, in case I didn't say. 350 Celsius would be a hot oven. And I just want to, you know, move it around a little bit, make sure it's all evenly coated.
Now, because it's essentially breadcrumbs that have been oiled, they are going to get toasty brown and really add a visual appeal to this dish.
Yes. This is going to go in the oven for about 30 minutes, and then we'll check on it. It's been half an hour. Our mac and cheese is like all cooked. It's bubbling on the sides, but it looks a little pale. So I like to get the broiler going, put it on the broiler for like maybe a minute to 2 minutes. This is gonna brown so fast, but you wanna be very, very careful. Do not walk away from it, okay? I'll be right back. Now we got some nice browning. And now it's time to plate some of this and taste it.
Non più tra I farfalloni amoroso, notte giorno di torno girano, delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto a dolcino d'amor. Delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto a dolcino d'amor. Non più avrai questi bei panacchini, quel cappello leggero galante, quella chioma, quell'aria brillante.
What cooking video would be complete without a tasting? Go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
The texture on this, I can already see it's got a little bit of the creaminess and the cheesiness. The sauce worked really, really well.
So you see that, right? That the excess sauce is no longer excess. It's the perfect amount.
Yep.
And oh, I'm so excited about this.
How'd I do?
One of the things I love about this is that little bit of topping just elevates the mac and cheese to the next level.
Texture.
It gives that additional texture that otherwise you wouldn't have. Now, is mac and cheese something that I'm going to turn my nose up if I don't have that top texture? No. But this just makes it, mwah, how much better.
It's got a decent cheesy flavor, okay? I'm not going to say it's like the most cheesy. It's not like that. It's got the creaminess and richness.
Yeah.
The lactic acid actually gives a little bit of that sour taste that's perfect. A little bit salty, gives that just, everything about it is perfect. The pasta, you know, obviously, it's mac and cheese. I mean, I almost said something I'm not allowed to say on YouTube. It's mac and cheese. You know what this tastes like. And this is about as good a vegan mac and cheese as you're likely to get. And I don't know, what else is there to say? Make this mac and cheese. It goes really good with our barbecued ribs. That if you haven't seen that video, go back and watch it. It came out a couple days ago. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching and have a great day.
Bye-bye.